"Oh!" Grant yelled as he slid onto the edge of the concrete seawall. Christina quickly turned to see her brother falling toward the rumbling lake water. "Grant!" she shouted. Though Grant's bottom was firmly planted on the top of the wall, his arm and entire right side dangled precariously over the side. If he moved, he'd fall and be a goner. "Christina, help!" Grant yelled. Christina raced to the wall and planted her foot at the base of it. She reached her hand out to Grant. "Grab my hand," she shouted. Grant yelled. He struggled to reach his sister's hand. His fingertips just touched hers, but they couldn't connect. "I can't," Grant wailed. "Here," Nicole offered Christina. "Take my hand. Now reach for Grant." Christina took a deep breath and leaned over further. In one swift move, she grabbed his arm and yanked her body backward, pulling Grant off the wall. Thump! All three tumbled to the hard walkway. "Grant, Christina, Nicole, Dominic," Papa yelled. "Where are you?" "We're over here," Dominic called. They scrambled to their feet and met Papa coming around the corner. "Let's get this show on the road," Papa said. The kids followed Papa obediently into the museum, still breathing hard. "Never do that again, Grant," Christina whispered. "Never again," Grant promised. "This trip is getting wilder and wilder," thought Christina. Chapter 5, Dangling Cars and Guitars. The first thing Christina did when she entered the building was look up. She just had to see those cars on the ceiling. "Look," Christina said and pointed up at the 3 full-size cars that hung from the rafters. Ba-boom! Ba-boom! A thundering guitar riff with a heavy beat filled the entry area. The sounds echoed due to the building's unusual shape. "Cool," Grant said. "I like the white car with words on it." "I like the tiger-striped one," Christina remarked. "The red spiked one's for me," Mimi added. Papa tilted back his cowboy hat. "I like them all, but I really want to see some guitars." Grant started to play air guitar again, drawing amused looks from the other museum visitors. "Looks like a natural," said an elderly lady with 2 girls in tow. "Oh, he's a natural, all right," Papa replied. "A natural goofball." Grant giggled. "Papa, that's the nicest thing you've said to me all day." "Come on, Grant." Christina tugged at his arm. "I want to see some real guitars, not your hot air ones." "Wow," Christina mumbled as they passed through the glass doors into the heart of the museum. Long hallways led to each exhibit, which were carefully labeled. "Look," Grant shouted. He pointed to a long white jacket in a glass case. "That's a Sgt. Pepper's band jacket. It was worn by John Lennon." "One of the Beatles," Dominic said. Dominic sang, "Well, it was 20 years ago today, Sgt. Pepper taught a band to play." Nicole joined in. "They've been going in and out of style, but they're guaranteed to raise a smile." Christina picked it up from there. "So may I introduce you to the act you've known for all these years?" Grant danced and pretended he held a microphone. "Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band." Papa and Mimi laughed. "Let's move on to the guitars," Grant suggested, skipping down the hall. They wandered down a hallway filled entirely with guitars. Every make, model, and color from different guitarists appeared to be there. Ding! Mimi's cell phone beeped. "Who could that be?" she asked. She pulled the red phone from her bag. "What?" Mimi looked confused at the text message. "What's that all about?" Papa asked. Mimi answered, "Well, Ichabod says he thinks the lighthouse is haunted. He's been hearing some strange noises and such, lights going on and off." The kids stopped in their tracks. "Ghost?" Grant said. His eyes widened with interest. "Well, I wouldn't be too worried, Grant," Mimi said. "Ichabod is old, and I'm thinking that he may be getting confused." "Well," Papa said, "we still have a bit more of the museum to see, so let's get to it." Christina leaned over and whispered to her brother, being careful not to let their friends hear. "Starting to think going to Mr. Ichabod's lighthouse is not a good idea at all." "Me too," Grant said. "Between the ghost and Mr. Icky, I'm thinking we should skip that part of the trip." "We can't, though," Christina said. "He's Mimi's friend, and she's worried about him." "Right," Grant said. Boom, crack, lightning and thunder jolted the kids back to reality. Christina shivered. Now, was there a ghost added to the mysterious mix?